All right, guys. So we're here with Ben and Brett, both just phenomenal agents. Been an absolute pleasure to work with them. We've worked together for around a little bit more than 6 months now. Um,
Absolutely.
but yeah, guys, why don't you walk us through some of the results you've seen, say listing value wise?
I think listing value wise, what we've secured so far, there's comfortably $100,000 worth of opportunity there at the moment. As far as overall, that's stuff that we've secured that we're immediately working on that we're looking to transact. As far as overall opportunity secured, probably sitting somewhere between $700,000-800,000 worth of achievable or adaptable commission. Obviously, we've got to go after it, but it's certainly been a great round of results so far.
Nice, 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 nice. So I know you guys have worked with like other lead gen sources in the past, trying to do some sort of similar stuff. What do you like about our system compared to the ones you've tried in the past?
I think respectfully, we do get hit a fair bit by, when you're a reasonable sized team under a good brand and we are pretty active on social media, we do get targeted a lot. Everyone's sort of coming across with a similar style of what they say is a concept. But I think the company we used previously, it was relatively new, 2.5, sort of 3 years ago to go after such a targeted style of lead source, through social media. We were with them for probably 12 months. Look, we had a good relationship. We had some good results at the time. It did feel like they were trying to get their company off the ground. So I think there was a lot of, you might refer to it as testing or guinea pig sort of style, using us. But as far as coming across to you, what I think I liked about it was you were very upfront about what type of leads we might get, being adaptable in the leads. When we used to get quite a few junky leads in previous times, we've been able to tailor the campaigns, being very specific about the areas that we want to target. But I think from your side, it feels a lot more like a partnership. Like there's a lot more dialogue between you and us, so to speak. The follow up, the chase down, the interest, obviously, in trying to help you getting us to grow. When you do see leads come through the pipeline that you think might be, maybe ready to go or a lot more focused. At times you're even ringing us to say, hey, there's a really good one that's come in. Let's jump on top of that. So I think there's more of a partnership level there. The CRM software is great. And I think the way we've been able to adapt the adverts, even from an aesthetic perspective, how they view online, you've been really good and adaptable to work with at that level.
Appreciate that. Yeah, definitely. I wanted to ask, so how did you find the overall process so far? Like, do you find it easy to get into, a little bit difficult, or how was your guys' experience overall?
I think the fact that we have someone manages our social media page. I mean, we don't refer to ourselves as tech savvy, right? So we obviously have people do that, but it's good. I think that there's been a really good synergy there that someone was working on the page anyway. And given the fact that she understood that she was looking at more from a marketing perspective, you were looking at it from more a lead generation targeting perspective. There was a really good synergy there. So we found that partnership. Mel, we know is great. Obviously, you're great to work with as well. So good collaboration. I certainly think the CRM setup was really easy. You will find real estate agents sometimes are a little bit lacking in attention because there's always people after us chasing us all the time. We are busy. Not to say that you're not, but you were very patient. The setup process was great, and I mean, you did say initially it's going to take a good couple of weeks to see sort of some of the leads coming through, and it would be a little bit slower at the start. Then it would start to ferment, and it would probably expedite. And we've definitely experienced that. We're seeing now a good 25 to 30 leads coming through a month. You've been very kind to share with us areas that aren't working as well, maybe through volume because of the people in that targeted source. We've gone back to other areas, extracted new inquiry from, and I think holistically, I feel like there's more of a partnership there, so we're not burning any sort of money. The money I outlaid initially versus the return, is reasonable, but you are pushing out before you're getting money come back. But you've
Hmm.
certainly been very mindful of that. You've looked at ad spend and cost per lead and things like that. But I mean, having secured 100 grand worth of business so far really does speak for itself. And I think if we were maybe even less busy in our current sort of workflow at the moment, we probably would have secured, maybe a good couple of 100 grand worth of business. You don't get it all, but we certainly are working with it. And it is an extraction process at Lead Source because they're not coming directly to us, so to speak. They're coming through a platform where they want to get information. So it's really about how do you interact with it, then how do you
Hmm.
process it, how do you keep up to date with them, and you've been good at supporting us with that. So I think all around it's been pretty easy, pretty straightforward, and it's nice just to have the leads coming into your SMS, then into your inbox, and to be able to jump into the CRM and then distribute throughout the team. So it's been great.
Awesome, awesome. I wanted to ask, so we reached out to you 6 months ago. What kind of made you choose us? Like, what did you like about our system that was like, all right, we're gonna give these guys a shot?
I think if I was being really transparent about it, we were open to the idea anyway because we had used it before.
Hmm.
I think what happened last time that we'd had a relatively good experience, but there was a little bit of a relationship breakdown, and we shared sort of how that went about. And I think they were more trying to just use us as their guinea pig to go and get other business rather than appreciating we were one of the founding clients. Right. In this case with you, firstly, your dialogue was really good, right? Your ability. I mean, in sales, you can have the best information and not be able to relay it to the client. Sometimes it's just about good timing. I think from yours, you had a good knowledge of product. You had a good opportunity around what you were selling. You were looking for something that was very specific to us. Obviously, you knew the numbers. You weren't overselling it. You weren't creating a fictitious expectation, and you really did talk about the partnership. And I think when we looked at the information you provided, so heavy sales tactics don't really work on salespeople.
Yeah.
Usually you'll get a better result by being easy to work with, being adaptable, being fluid, giving relatively good information and not smashing it down people's throats. So you were really good at that. Second round meeting was fantastic. The information we stepped through in that online tutorial that we did together was obviously great. Then I like the structured packages that you gave us as well. It gave us an opportunity to step into it rather than jump right into it. And all round, it's been a great synergy, and we have every intention of continuing using it. As you know, we've expanded not only now to a secondary, but we're going to a third platform as well across our offices. So clearly, we believe in it.
That's awesome. That's super awesome to hear. I wanted to ask, so what would you say to someone that's sitting on the fence right now? They've tried something in the past and it didn't really work out. Like, what would you say to them? Just advice as a business owner.
I think if you are to be in the modern day of real estate, what do I mean by that is your traditional real estate is obviously you've got your client list, you're ringing them, you're chasing them down. It's a real fermenting process going through past results. You've then got a really aggressive marketplace at the moment. There's a lot of people out there trying to get into real estate because they do think it's high volume and high money. It's also high burnout rate. It's also high turnover rate. Right. So people need to understand that what's a way that I could create a business model that is sustainable, and in being sustainable, it's got to be adaptable. So in this case, we have some days where we're really, really busy on the ground, but our marketing is still working in the background. So the process of modern day marketing or modern day real estate to me is trying to create a void or a synergy where there's one to many. And in one to many, obviously, it's not us out there door knocking. So a traditional
Yeah.
process would be you put up a signboard, you go and sell a property, you go and door knock a street, but it's really 1 to 20. It's really 1 to 30. It's quite an isolated a focused type of approach, which is great and relevant. But if you're talking about a long game and you're trying to create a really solid pipeline and you want to be scalable, one to many, like so, if you look at a reactive process of real estate marketing through social media, you've got your just listed, just sold. Talk about the team, talk about the market. If you're talking about a proactive solution, which is what you're providing, you're going out to that market and extracting or trying to get people's attention by getting them to come our way under a one to many process. We're able to do multiple suburbs and multiple target groups at any one time across multiple campaigns. And that's giving us not 20 or 30 points of contact, it's giving us literally hundreds. And we can scale that up or scale that down. So I think that opportunity of modern day marketing in a modern day, really fast world where people want stuff now. They don't want to wait for us to drive out there and do an appraisal. They don't want to wait for us to go and knock on their door and share something with them. They want to get it when they're ready. And I think the cool thing about the targeted ads is when people open social media and they're ready to have a conversation and they see the advert, it's a more potent and effective way of engaging with the advert because they're more ready for it. It's not being pushed down their throat. It's being pushed to them, but they can choose to engage or not. So I think the one to many approach has been a completely different way. And I mean, look at it. I mean, we're dealing with hundreds of leads now, not 10 or 20 potential sellers. There's literally hundreds there. So it's a really great way of getting to, I could scale up or scale down my team based on how many leads are coming in. And we could probably say, hey, we want to target now 6 suburbs, not 3. I'm going to bring on another person, spend 45, 50 grand a year, knowing that there's hundreds of thousands of dollars in potential commission there. And that's why I would use the word scalable.